Hello and a very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Singapore Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel wins the third win in a row for Ferrari, his first win in a year. Driver ratings for the Singapore Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered. Let's get straight into it. Lando Norris, 10 out of 10. Best of the rest, finishes P7, first time racing in Singapore. He has a worldie. P7, brilliant by Lando Norris. Carlos Sainz, 6. Now, he should have been best of the rest, but he got taken out. Best of the rest in qualifying, taken out in the race by Nico Hülkenberg. He was a lap down. His race was looking nowhere. He didn't give up. Good fight back for P12. To say he was a lap down and he still gets 12th, just misses out on the points. But Sainz should have been a 10 as well. He should have been best of the rest, but he only finished 12th, so you can't really give him any higher. Charles Leclerc, 10 out of 10. Paul led Paul, he did what he needed to do. He got bummed by strategy. It's 10 out of 10. Paul led the first part of the race, the snail's pace, did nothing wrong. He got bummed by the strategy. So, for me, Charles gets a 10. Sebastian Vettel, 10 out of 10. Silences his critics, his doubters, his haters. Wins for the first time in a year. 3 wins for Ferrari. 3 poles for Ferrari. Ferrari are on fire. I'm really happy for him. First win in a year. He's under pressure. He deserves that. Kimi Räikkönen, 2 out of 10. Struggled all weekend. Beaten by Giovinazzi. Contact with Kvyat ended his race. Kvyat went down the inside, hit Kimi. Kimi's tyres off. Yeah, he's struggled the last couple. Kimi struggled in Italy, hit the barrier a couple of times, struggled in Singapore. Giovinazzi, 9, scores a point, beat Kimi all weekend, led the race at one point. Contact with Ricciardo, lucky not to end his race there, but fantastic by Giovinazzi. Max, 9 out of 10, good weekend, good points. Podium. Max, it was a bit uneventful for him. He just drove, gets on the podium. They expected better Red Bull round Singapore. Alexander Albon, 8. Best weekend with Red Bull, P6 all weekend, no mistakes. His first time at Singapore in an F1 car, and he did well. Gasly, now, I've got a runny nose. Gasly, 10 out of 10. Now, for all you people that say I've got a hate campaign against Gasly, I do not. I tell the truth. He deserved to be dropped from Red Bull, but he's 10 out of 10. Outstanding. He looks confident again, some brutal overtakes, and he really looks like he's enjoying his racing again. Danny Kvyat, 1. Very poor. Contact with Kimi in the race. It was a poor weekend. He got hammered by Gasly all weekend as well. Lewis Hamilton, 6. Qualified second, but he's running second in the race. This really annoyed me, really pissed me off. He's got a guaranteed second place. They keep him out. We'll lose a load of positions. We'll lose a load of time. And yes, strategy cost him second place basically. It was idiotic. Valtteri Bottas. Now, actually I'm going to rate Bottas down because he deserves it. I'm going to give Bottas 5. And the reason I'm giving him 5, he had the chance. The team basically told him to slow down, and of course, Bottas does what he's asked. He could have got ahead of Hamilton. Remember, Bottas is in the title fight. He could have jumped Hamilton, would have easily jumped Hamilton. The team tell him to slow down. Hamilton gets back out in front of him. So, he's basically, does he want to be world champion or not? He's got a chance to gain points on Hamilton, but he stays behind him. So yeah, I give him 5, doesn't push Hamilton. Ricciardo, 5 out of 10. He had an amazing qualifying. He gets a bullshit penalty for the race, has to start last. Then it's Ricciardo-esque. Brilliant overtakes, but then he did one too many. Had contact with Giovinazzi, ends up getting a puncture. It was actually a tough weekend for Ricciardo, but he gave us entertainment. He only ends up 14th. He was having a great race, but I don't know with Ricciardo. He gives us great overtakes, but sometimes he just goes for that one too many. And yeah, that ruined his race after the puncture. Nico Hulkenberg, 8 out of 10. Consistent as usual. Hit Sainz, had to come in on the first lap, but he didn't give up, and he ends up P9. And to think that he may not be on the grid next year is an absolute outrage. Kevin Magnussen, 3. In the points, but the safety car came out and then he seemed to just go backwards after that. He was last anyway, came in, put fresh tyres on, got the fastest lap. Grosjean, I wish I had a tissue to blow my nose. Grosjean, I'll give Grosjean 1. Hit Russell into the wall, but ends up P11. 18th in qualifying. He finished 11th, quite close to the points somehow, even though his teammate was going backwards. Yeah, but hitting Russell into the wall, that was Grosjean's fault. Does Grosjean still deserve to be in F1? Not on many people's books, but Sergio Perez, I'll just give him the standard 5. Actually, 5's quite lenient. He hit the wall in practice, he gets a 5-place grid penalty, and then he's running in the points, his car stops out on track, and that brought a safety car out. So it's not his fault really, is it? Lance Stroll, 2. Knocked out in Q1, and he finished... Where did he finish? 13th. He hit the wall, I believe. He got a puncture, had to come in. George Russell, 5 out of 10. Beat Kubica in qualifying. In the race, was not doing a bad job. In the race, it was Ricciardo and Russell touched, didn't they? Russell had to come in on lap 1. Then, in the race, he got taken out by Grosjean. His first retirement of the year. And then, last but not least, Robert Kubica, 5. Finished the race, he's leaving Williams, but yeah, he's finished every single race, Kubica. I mean, yeah, I give him 5. So there we have it. That is qualifying reaction, race reaction, driver ratings for the Singapore Grand Prix. Join me in a week's time where we go on to Sochi, Russia, the home of the torpedo. And we will be doing the same. Qualifying reaction, race reaction, driver ratings, as we do every week. It's a theme now and we're not changing it. I've got a pop-up on my computer that I need to delete, as you probably heard it there. So leave your comments down below. Do you agree with my driver ratings or not? Quite a lot of 10s this week. We'll run down the 10s. Norris, Leclerc, Vettel, Gasly,